Hey guys, just a quick video. I wanted to show you guys about a tool that I made. So I was talking recently with some bros in our alliance, and I was telling them, yeah, we do this C3 solo Praxis that we, get newer bros to jump into so they can run C3 sites solo in their Praxis. And I showed them this fit, and they were like, no, there's no way 64% resist. It's kind of light. It won't survive. So what I did was I started putting together a sheet that will demonstrate the math behind this. So when you're looking at a site, what you want to do is you want to check the DPS. So this is the hardest combat anomaly. It's got the highest DPS wave at 815. So what this site is going to do is it's actually going to adjust the damage bleeding through that you're going to have to repair based on your resists. Now, generally speaking, on average, sleepers deal omni damage across the board. So this initial sheet on this tool is just for C3 combat anomalies. You can put in waves from C4 sites, whatever you want. You'll make a copy of this, you can adjust it however you want. So this is the Outpost Frontier Stronghold. We can see the damage for each wave. This is the worst wave. And based on 64% resists, I have to rep 294. Now we can adjust this so that it says a 0 resists. And you can see it's going to give the full damage. So this is adjusting based on our resists. So you can see with 50% resist, it's giving us 50% that we're going to have to repair. So let's go back to 64. And so the sheet tells us that for 64% resists on this final wave, we're going to have to do 294 reps per second. This is the template for the Praxis. This is based on mods that don't require level 5 skills, so it's accessible to new bros. The price is not too prohibitive. You can see the fit here. All this stuff is to make it very cap stable, so you're kind of short on damage mods, but in a C3 site, what a lot of people don't realize is you don't warp in at the anomaly and fight from there with cruise missiles or something. For all the sites except for the outpost, you can actually warp up in a cloaky, bookmark the structure itself on the site, and then come back with your Praxis, warping at 20 and your point blank range to drop torpedoes or rapid heavies on everyone, annihilate the site super fast. With the outpost, there's no structure that you can right click and save from space, so you would just warp up in a cloaky, burn in about halfway from the anomaly to the structure, and then set a bookmark. That way your Praxis is warped there. This also has a safety thing, so you are, I don't know what that was for. So you would be away from the anomaly. If suddenly a wormhole spawns in, we're locked down, but a wormhole suddenly spawns in, people come pouring through and they descan you. Oh, there's a Praxis at a combat site. At least you're not going to be on the anomaly to get jumped and scrammed right away. You're going to be away from the anomaly. So this demonstrates that you can tank that. Now, people might be like, well, the damage isn't exactly even across the board. So here we go. I've actually done an itemized final wave for the Outpost Frontier. So you can see with these NPCs, the damage they do, it's pretty close. Where did I say it was? 294? 297. So that's pretty close. So even with a slightly different damage across the board, you can see we're doing more damage in these middle ones, but it evens out. Now what I've done is I've taken this and I've actually made one that you can apply to missions or other PvE. So here is Angel Extravaganza. Same sort of thing as this one. Is itemized. So you add in the NPCs and it gives you how much you're going to need to rep based on your resists. Let's say I'm in some armor ship. I've got super EM, I've got okay thermal, mediocre kinetic, shitty explosive. This is how much I'm going to have to rep just for that first wave. However, if I fit for kinetic and explosive, you can see that amount goes much lower. So this will help you kind of simulate your resists for each wave. So I've actually input all these things for each wave. You can see the final wave is pretty bad. It's a little more than our ship can handle, even if we adjusted the resist, which would be hard to do on the Praxis. Now, this might seem tedious to use it as a tool, but what I have is a sheet where you will just input for later to copy and paste. So you can input the stats on the NPC on here and copy and paste to your own custom sheets, custom waves, custom missions, whatever later. Now, where you get this information is from the mission guide or Ricky's guide. So here's Ricky's guide. You can look up the individual guys. Here's the mission guide. So this actually gives you information on all the different missions there are in the game. So you can look up the mission, look up level 4, and then you can look up the individual NPCs. Now where you find that information, on the sheet it's linked right here where to find the stats. So you would click on it and it would open up this site. Then you can enter the NPC you're looking for, hit search, open it up, and here's your per second damage. So now be careful because it's kind of reversed. It goes alphabetically for some reason, so explosive, kinetic, thermal, and EM are kind of reversed here. So be careful when you input the data. But once you have that, you just copy it to this NPC sheet for later. So just copy and paste. You can alphabetize these, it won't affect anything. So there you go. So I hope this helps. Shows proof of concept for the Praxis. You can test against specific waves with different DPS, and you can even go through the mission guides if you're a hardcore mission runner and input different combinations of possible NPCs for the waves to come up with the worst case scenario and see what you would need to rep based on certain resists. So I hope that helps. You are welcome to copy the sheet. I'm going to put the link in the video description. And if I can, I'm going to put it in the PvE tools chat in-game. So in-game, you can find PvE tools. Just click on the plus sign, type in PvE tools, or go to tool library. And you can find the trucker full NPC stats here that we use to find the stats. And you can find e-survival and Ricky's guide right here. Alright guys, cheers.